Okay, so this is another one. So many things to say. I want to start with the notion of synchronicity. Stupid way to start a conversation. I'm talking to myself. Why am I talking about all this? I want to start with this with notion. What the fuck am I saying? Well, I'm still alone. I've been alone now for 3 weeks. And for the most part, life has been pretty normal. One thing is that I've been eating a lot healthier. I assumed that after my wife left, I would just start eating convenience store food. And because I live in Japan, convenience store food is fucking amazing. It's as good as any fucking restaurant in Kenya, in Nairobi, where I come from. Maybe even better than most. So I assumed I would be doing that. And especially because I don't have a driving license. So going for shopping is kind of difficult. So I assumed that I'll just keep eating, a bento, which is like a lunchbox from the convenience store every once in a while. But actually, I rarely eat food from the convenience stores. The last time I ate convenience store food was maybe a week ago. So once or twice since my wife left, which is insane. I ate more convenience store food when she was here. So usually I go to sleep by around 11 or 11:30, and I wake up at 8:30 in the morning, depending on the day of the week. I either go for a run or I go to the gym. Then I do some cleaning, watch some Netflix, read a book, maybe meditate, and I head to work in the afternoon, which is a really great improvement from what I was doing before. Before, I will sleep at 1 or 2, wake up at 11. If I have time, I will go to the gym. If not, I will just chill around, maybe do yoga, then go to work. Then if I come back home too late, I will just buy food on the way home, because my wife will also have been back from work, so maybe she will be too exhausted to cook. So just eat on the way home. But nowadays, after going to the gym, I'll go to pass by the nearest supermarket, buy the ingredients I need that will last me for a week or a couple of days, and live off of that for a couple of days. Since I only eat one meal a day. I mean, initially, why do I eat one meal a day? It started as fasting because I heard about intermittent fasting on Joe Rogan's podcast with Dr. Rhonda Patrick, and I decided, wow, this sounds really cool. It sounds interesting, especially when they talked about fasting can help you increase muscle mass. That was a really interesting idea. It doesn't sound like it makes sense. Like, I'm going to start doing it. So I got the app, the Zero app. It was a fasting app, a fasting tracker. And I did that for 2 years on and off. Then it just became a habit. Now I just eat one meal a day. But I also put honey in my coffee every morning. So I don't know, maybe that doesn't count as me fasting, because I always put honey in my coffee, which is weird. Everyone thinks it's weird when I do it. But I like it. I like honey in my coffee. Black coffee on its own doesn't taste so good. And I don't want to put processed sugar. Initially, that's also another thing that started off as like me trying to be health conscious. But there's no need for me to do it. No, right now it's just about me liking honey in my coffee. And what else? So I read this book recently, The Denial of Death by Ernest Becker. And from the cover alone, I just assumed that it's just a book talking about why we're so scared talking about death. But it was more of a history of psychoanalysis and how psychoanalysis arrived at the problem of death being the innate fear of every human being. And so from what I got in the book, I started looking so much at my own life. The things I avoid, the things I constantly do because I fear loneliness or death, especially now, whereby I will be at home, and recently I got back into masturbating. Like, I masturbate once a day now. Before I would do it maybe once a week, twice a week maximum, but now I'm doing it once a day. just because I'm lonely. I'm so lonely, so I need something to fill that time, something to fill that hole, that hunger in me. So I grabbed the nearest thing. It's either drinking or masturbation. I mean, both of them are not so good for me, but one is better than the other. And I don't know. What can I say? Today is kind of dry, huh? So I went for my driving test today. My 5th attempt at getting a Japanese driver's license, and I failed yet again. It's obviously my fault. The proctor was really nice, really friendly, offered me great advice, but the problem is I didn't understand all of the advice he gave me because my Japanese isn't at that level. So no matter what he's telling me, I'm not really learning much, so I'm bound to make the same mistakes again. So my wife advised me to just read a book that she was using when she was going to driving school, but it's all in Japanese. So I have to take pictures, send the pictures to her, ask her to translate whatever this means, which is fine. I'll learn, and hopefully next time I'll get the license. However, like when I was going for the test today, my thinking was like, it's gonna be my 5th time. I'm most likely going to fail again. But if I fail, it's okay. That was my thinking going in, right? But today I failed in the most miserable way. Last time I failed because I just wasn't looking over my shoulder enough, which is a weird thing because in Japan, when you're turning your corner, they expect you to look over your shoulder first before you make the turn. Whereby in Kenya, that's considered to be dangerous, so you're told don't do that. And so that's the thing I had to learn to begin with, which was perfectly fine. But today, on the course, there's something called a crank, which is like a really narrow road that goes into like a Z formation. It's really narrow, and it goes like this. Then you 90-degree turn, with 90-degree turn to your right, then another 90-degree turn to your left. And I've not taken that course. This is my 5th time, and the first 4 times I did it perfectly. And today I thought, wow, I'm gonna ace the test. But when I go to the crank, I went over the curb, and that was an automatic failure. And I was like, after that happened, I got super angry at myself, super angry. I wasn't comfortable at all. I felt like, oh fuck, I went again. Here we go again. Just as you expect of Oscar. Fuck you, man. What the fuck is wrong with you? So I'm here, all angry at myself, and I got this overwhelming sadness, and I wanted to cry. And as soon as I left the compound, I just wanted to call my wife and tell her I failed, but she was with her friends, so we couldn't talk. So I just told her I failed, and we'll text later. And I wanted to get home as soon as possible, just so I could lock myself in the house and cry, And I don't know why I wanted to cry. It's not because of the exam. I expected to fail, so why was I sad about failing? I don't think that's the reason. But I had this overwhelming sadness, and I just wanted to cry. So I rushed home. I got home, took off my clothes, locked all the doors, and I sat on this couch, on this couch right here, and I started sobbing. But it wasn't for a long time. It was like a minute maximum, just crying. And afterwards I kind of felt better, not good, not great, just better. But I don't know why I cried. But lately I've been filled with this ball inside of me, this ball that is seeking something. Maybe it's just the loneliness. Maybe that's what's causing the growth of this ball. But there's this thing inside of me that I just want to fill with things. Like on the weekends recently, when my wife was here, I would go drinking with my friends maybe once a month maximum. Not even friends, just drinking buddies. Just go to a bar, chill with a bartender who's a really cool guy, chill with an American guy who's also a teacher, who's also a really smart guy. We just shoot the shit, and I'd come back home, after a good night drinking and talking with my friends. But since my wife left, every weekend I will go out. I will go to this fast bar, talk to my friends, then I will go with the American guy, to another bar. where we'll get really fucked up. We are always looking for company because I feel like he's just as lonely as I am, because now he's really alone. He's been in Japan for 5 years now, almost the same amount of time as me, but he's a single guy. He's never had a girlfriend in Japan, and he lives alone. So like when we're together, it feels really comfortable because we're just two lonely guys, just especially now for me, just two lonely guys just looking for company, and we always want to go to the bar with the highest number of people, not because we're looking for anything in particular. I feel like we just want to have other people around us, you know. So we go to this bar, like my Japanese is much better than his. Not to say that my Japanese is great, but it's so much better than his. So we go to these bars where everyone else is Japanese and we're the only two foreigners in the bar most of the time. And people want to talk to us. So they talk to him first because they see a white guy, they see American. Oh, America, everyone in Japan loves America. Oh, and he's from California, so that's even like, plus 10 points, Gryffindor. And they start talking to him and he's like, oh, my Japanese isn't so good. Talk to Oscar. And people start talking to me, and initially I try to put them off, so my answers are always like kind of like an offhand answer, because I want him to get the attention, not because I don't want the attention, but because once they realize that I speak decent Japanese, they all come to me. And now it's me and a bunch of Japanese guys around me just laughing about shit, and he can't be a part of the conversation because he doesn't understand what we're talking about. And now I feel like him being with me is making him even lonelier. And he's an elderly man. I'm 25, he's 45. But still, like, maybe the problem is that we leave our regular bar, like our local bar, which is the bar that we love because of the owner. The owner is such a nice guy, a Japanese guy, but he's fluent in English. And we go to this other bar where no one speaks English. So it's just us trying to find a way to communicate with Japanese people. But if we are together in the bar, in our local bar, it's just us talking about shit. We've seen the news about our week, about our day, about the things bothering us, It's men not really forcing themselves to be men. It's more, there's there's a lie in the world, about what it means to be a man. I don't know. I'm sure the same thing exists for women. But as far as I'm concerned, there's this thing whereby, as a guy, I just want to open up and just tell someone, hey dude, I'm actually really lonely right now. I would like to talk about that girl's big ass, but just I'm not in the mood right now, Like, I have this pain in my chest. I'm sad. My wife is gone. I'm lonely. When I come back home, it's so quiet. It's me and the TV. I have no one to sleep with. I have no one to hold when I sleep. I enjoy holding my wife when I sleep. Heck, I will enjoy holding anyone when I'm sleeping, just to feel another human being's warmth. But now it's just, and Japan is a funny place. No one hugs in Japan. No one hugs. No one hugs in Japan. So since my wife left, I've never had any body-to-body contact with anyone. Even just a good like, hey dude, what's up? Nothing. It's always like, konnichiwa, or like this awkward handshake that most Japanese guys have. Like, funny story. I had once, maybe a month or 2 months ago, after the end of my classes, one of the father came out of the car to tell me how is my daughter doing, and he speaks English. So my first reaction was to go and shake his hand. And in Kenya growing up, you give someone a strong handshake, and as soon as I did that, I went to grab his hand the way I normally would. In Kenya, I felt his weak, awkward, limp hand being squeezed by my hand, and I felt like, oh shit, I fucked up. I shouldn't have done this. I should have just bowed and said good evening or something, But it was so. That's the thing in Japan. People, it's always a bow, a light bow, or like a kind of like handshake, There's no body contact. So I'm going crazy here. I'm lacking the oxytocin I need to be a sane human being. Whereby in Kenya, people hug each other all the time. People always looking for an excuse to hug. So much so that, especially when I was in university, I had a girlfriend who told me she hated the way me and my other friends who were girls were always hugging all the time. It made her feel jealous. But why will she feel that? Because she did that with the guys. I mean, anyway, but anyway, the point is in Kenya, people just hug, People always hug. But in Japan, the best you get is a limp handshake. And so I'm here feeling lonely. I want to talk to someone, but, it's like, if I tell most people, it's like, man up. Be a man. Bro, I don't want to be a man right now. I want to cry. Will you let me cry on your shoulder? Just let me cry on your shoulder. When I was a student in Japan for 1 year, when my exchange program was coming to an end, I was at a bar and I was just drinking myself to death. Just drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking. And there was this Argentinian guy, and I think he noticed that, like, Oscar is drinking because he doesn't want to go back home. He's just like he's masking his pain of living in Japan with the constant alcoholism, And this guy came up to me randomly and he just hugged me tight. And I cried. I just broke into tears, man. I just broke into tears. Like, what kind of person is that? How did he notice that? That I am just in pain. I just need someone to tell me, dude, it's okay. It's okay. You're not alone. You're not alone. But most of the guys don't do that. Most of the guys just say, be a man. Your wife is gone. You can have fun now. Dude, I was having fun when my wife was here. She never stopped me from having fun. It was really more fun spending time with her. Going to a cafe with her, chilling, going to the park and just talking, throwing a ball around, me and my wife. That was fun. Or do people assume because I'm a man, the fun thing would be to go to a bar and get fucked up and look for girls? If I was 20 or 19, that would have been really fun. I have a kid on the way, man. It's not about... Now fun is just me having a good, quiet day with my wife. That's fucking fun. I don't even want to travel, man. I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to have a nice, quiet day with my wife. But no, you're a man. And your wife isn't here, so... Fuck you. Fuck anyone who says that. It's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. So, I want to be an honest man. Like I said a couple of videos, in my first video actually. But sometimes it's so hard to be honest. When the whole world is forcing its expectations on you, you should be like this because you look like so and so. You have a dick and balls, so you should behave this way. So fuck your emotions, fuck your experience. You need to be like this. Oh, you have breasts, so you need to behave a certain way. Fuck that, man. It's painful, it sucks. That's why everyone is going crazy. Because you know what you're feeling inside. But it's like, what's inside is compressed so much by all that is coming from outside. Is it making sense? It's making sense to me. At the very least, it's making sense to me. People aren't going crazy because there's something in the water. There's nothing in the water. Maybe there is, but that's not the real reason why people are going crazy. People are going crazy because of expectations. As a woman, you're supposed to be a mother and a wife, but you're not married. You're 35. You're single. You don't have kids. Menopause is coming its way. People are asking, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? So you start going crazy. You're a man. You cry instead of holding your shit in. When you're lonely, you tell your friends I'm lonely instead of just going out and drinking, getting fucked up. What's wrong with you? So you start going crazy. So men tend to drink. Men start drinking because they can't express themselves. Because the only time they can talk honestly is when they've had a couple of drinks in them. So that thing about the drunk asshole in the bar screaming all this nonsense. He's not screaming nonsense. He wanted to say this shit when he was sober. But he didn't have that liquid courage in him to say it, He wanted to say it. But if he said when he was sober, people will say you're crazy. You're being a bitch. But now he's drunk. Now he can say it and he has an excuse. I was drunk. But nigga, that shit was always in you. It was always in you, and it's always in me. It's always in me. I realized, I said before, like when my wife was about to leave, there was so many things I wanted to tell her, but I couldn't tell her because I was scared of what people would think. I don't know what people would think. The words couldn't come out of my mouth. I knew what I wanted to say, but the words wouldn't come out of my mouth. So I went out to a 7-Eleven, bought a drink, had my drink, came back home, and I could say everything. How fucked up is that? How fucked up is that? That's evil, bro. That is the definition of evil. Yet as a man, I'm stuck in this shell, and society expects me to behave a certain way. I don't want to behave a certain way. I want to be what I am. And right now, what I am is lonely. So let me act lonely. Let me feel my loneliness. Don't tell me to be a man. You already have this raging bone all the fucking time. Isn't that bad enough? But, anyway, I'm not making less other people's problems. I can only talk about my problems because that's what I know. I'm sure other people have bigger problems than I do. But this is my truth. And my truth is that I'm fucking lonely. And I miss my wife. And I wish she was here. And I wish that when she was here, I could tell her how much I loved her. More often than I did. I wish I could hug her and avoid those stupid arguments we have about you didn't wash the dishes properly, or Oscar, you drank too much last night. Fuck. You know what? If me not going out means I can be happy with my wife at home, I'll stop going out. To a reasonable degree, not never go out, but just, just to make her happy. So, not even to make her happy, to make her feel comfortable with being with me, so she can rely on me, so she can feel like I can count on Oscar. Isn't that the goal of every human being? To have someone tell you that I can count on you, to be someone's hero, to be the hero in someone else's story. But right now, being the hero means being a billionaire, right? And if you're not earning any money, you're just another side character, nigga. In Kenya, everyone says, I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler. What does that even mean? You're trying to make money? Nigga, everyone is trying to make money. Everyone is trying to put food on the table. Everyone is trying to feed their kids. No, but you're a hustler because you want to drive a Bentley. That's why you're a hustler, because you want to drive a Bentley. That's what makes you different from me, huh? No, son, no. You're not different from me. I just want to have enough to be able to see my wife a decent amount of time every day. And now, from next month, we will see my kid regularly, as much as possible. To be able to hug my kid and tell my kid I fucking love you, like to look into her face and just be me to my kid, not be dad, just be, not even Oscar, because what is Oscar? Who is Oscar? Is Oscar just a collection of experiences? Is Oscar Swahili? Is Oscar Kenyan? Is Oscar Kalenjin? Is Oscar Embu? Is Oscar the black guy who lives in Saga, Japan? Is Oscar the English teacher? Is Oscar the guy who goes to the gym regularly? Is Oscar the guy who meditates? Who is Oscar? What do people expect of Oscar? Me, I just want to be me. I just want to be this thing, this black void inside, I want to see what that is. I want to cry when I feel like crying. I want to laugh until I'm crying. But no, you're a man. You're an African man. And African men are strong. Wakanda. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Fuck Wakanda, nigga. Fuck Wakanda. Me, I cry. I remember being a kid in high school. Not in high school, actually, like in primary school, like elementary school for you Americans. And I used to get bullied because I was really, really fat. And I would just smile and laugh at those jokes with those guys who were bullying me, to show that I don't give a fuck, I don't care. So I would laugh with them. But I would go back home and head up to my room, lock myself up in the room, and just cry. Just cry because fuck, I didn't want to be told those things. Those things hurt me, man. People poking on my belly, people pulling on my tits. People telling me, yo, Oscar, you're so fat, you're disgusting. Dude, come on, I was fucking 8 years old. How much of me being fat was my fault? Why am I the one getting all this hate? So I would go up to my room and just cry. And right now, I think some of those tears are still left inside me. There's some tears I should have cried at that time that I didn't cry out, and it's bubbling up now. I don't know. It's like a funny thing. Like my youngest brother was also really young when he was in primary school, and I picked on him as well for being fat. I actually hated the fact that he was fat. Like I was looking back on it, I was kind of blaming him for me being fat when I was his age. It's weird, right? Like I was hating him because he's the way I was when I was his age, And I was really, really bad to him. I was rude. I was hateful. I was just an ugly human being towards him when he was that age. I once smoked a joint when I was in Kenya. And that realization hit me like a flash. Like, Oscar, you was so terrible to your youngest brother. And it hit me like a flash. And I just fell and started crying. Just feeling, I was overwhelmed with guilt about treating him the way I had treated him. I was overwhelmed with this massive, massive guilt and just cried and I cried. And the next time that I saw him, because I was living alone at the time, not alone but with my other brother, the next time I saw my youngest brother, I apologized. And I think even recently, maybe sometime this year or last year, I texted him again saying I'm so really sorry because I still have this guilt in me. And there's many things we do as human beings that come from being traumatized. And I think everyone is traumatized. But no one really knows where the trauma came from. So the trauma shows up, it reveals itself in different ways. Through alcoholism, through pornography, through smoking, through drug addiction, through being a fucking asshole. It can be anything. Being an abusive husband, an abusive father or mother, anything. And the reason you're bad, whatever this bad means, is because something bad probably happened to you. But society in general never looks at things in a holistic manner. We look at things in a way like, Oscar did this, so we need to punish Oscar for this one thing that Oscar did. Oscar is going to get this grand punishment for this one thing he has done. Oscar hit his wife. Oh no. We have to punish him for that so people know not to hit their wives. But no one is ever asking, I wonder what will make someone want to hit their wife. What will create such a human being whereby your first response to being offended is violence? Then maybe I can go be taken to therapy. Unearth all this trauma inside me so that I can also find out why I will respond that way. So next time I can think, oh, I was about to throw a punch. Why do I throw a punch? Okay, let me step back. Let me go lock myself in my room for 30 minutes, think about it, then come back out and maybe I'll think, okay, hey, I was about to react violently and I'm sorry for that, but I've realized why I wanted to do that and I won't do that again. But the response is Oscar hit his wife. Lock him up. I go to jail with all these other guys who reacted badly because of their trauma, and now we're just feeding into each other's hatred, just feeding into each other's hatred. And instead of coming out a reformed guy, I've been reformed for sure. Yeah, reformed into a better villain, But fuck, like, such is life, huh? Everyone wants to be a hero. But unfortunately, everyone is a fucking villain, huh? Everyone is a villain. Everyone is a villain. You are too. You're a villain. You just don't know how. Thank you.